Smoke Show!
And this one's just a fun one for the folks to wrap this up with. You have just been made commissioner of fantasy football. And I don't mean a league. I mean the entire damn industry. You dictate the direction. And you can start by making 3 changes, anywhere from scoring formats to prerequisites. And your word is law. What 3 changes do you make?
Sorry, kickers. Goodbye. Number 1. Look, and I know Jake Seeley's been pushing that for years, but like, I do not miss them at all in the leagues where I got rid of them. And like, it's just like, I mean, how often, like, we're supposed to be having fun here. We just spent an entire show talking about how it's entertainment and comfort level. Do you have fun on a Tuesday when your kicker has a bye week and you got to say, I got to go man, Ryan Suckup's real hot right now. Like, come on, man. Like, add a flex spot. Add a super flex spot. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you every league should be a super flex league. I know there are advocates of that. It's just, first and foremost, it'll mess up everything we do because baseline fantasy content is written from a 1 quarterback perspective. So, but like, add a super flex spot, add a third wide or 4th wide receiver spot, add a 2nd tight end spot. By the way, let's make that another rule. Add a 2nd tight end spot.
Yes.
So, full disclosure, I don't have any leagues that require you to start 2 tight ends, but it's in fantasy baseball, 2 catcher leagues are a standard, and it's to make that position, which is absurdly top heavy, even more strategic, because if you start 2 tight ends every week, well, Gerald Everett's getting drafted as a starter. Dan Arnold is getting drafted as a starter. So you've got to, like, you could start a draft with Kelsey and Kittle, and it's going to make strategies a lot of fun. So 2 tight ends, I think would be a lot of fun. Now let me see. What would number 3 be? This one is really important to me. You should not have half your league make the playoffs. If you are in a 12-team league, 4 teams should make the playoffs. That's it. If you're in an 8-team league, 2 teams should make the playoffs. 14-team league, 6 teams. 6 teams is fine in a 14-team league, but I'm going to tell you why. Because, look, I worked with Ray Flowers for a number of years, and Ray Flowers hates head-to-head. He's a fantasy baseball guy. Baseball guys is his Twitter handle, but he's a fantasy baseball guy in his heart, and he believes the full season should matter. He and I have not butted heads, like, we're not getting in a fight over this, but like, he has long argued that he hates head-to-head even for fantasy football. Why do we play head-to-head in fantasy football, Josh? Because it's fun. We're trying to have fun out here, okay? It's not fun if you're just like, oh, all right, I'm first in points. I mean, it's great. I'm going to win, but there's a little trash. My opponent has this week. I'm watching against this. That's the fun part of the day-to-day of leagues. I play my buddy this week. I haven't beaten him in 5 years. Like that, there's that fun part. On the other hand, though, we do still want the regular season to be important. We do still want good teams to advance. 4-team maximum in a 12-team. There is nothing worse than getting knocked off by a 6 seed that didn't deserve to make the playoffs. Let's call it like it is. So you want it to be fair. So there's another proposal I have is this. In our Fantasy Points Dynasty League, we have 2, but in our 1 quarterback Dynasty League, we have a system that my Fantasy League lets you set up. It's called Victory Points. And what it does is you play an opponent each and every week, but the victory point system also allots an extra victory to the top 6 finishers of the week in points. So there's 12 teams in the league, and you get a victory point, A, for winning your matchup, and B, for finishing as one of the top 6 teams in the league in scoring that week. So even if you're the number 2 team, and everybody's been on the receiving end of this, even if you're on the number 2 team in the league and you ended up playing the top scoring team in the league, you still get a win. You still get a victory for that. And we sort our standings by victory points, then total points, then win-loss record. That's how we sort our standings, and it preserves that head-to-head competition. The playoffs are still head-to-head. It preserves that level of competition, but it also rewards the better teams in the long run. So there is a more fair way to play while also maintaining the fun of that head-to-head. And I think that's a change that I would like to see a lot more leagues play. Don't play roto, don't play total points, but do play in a victory point system. So I would say no kickers. I guess I give you 4 rules. No kickers, 2 tight ends, victory points, and fewer than half the teams in your league make the playoffs. Like, we want the better teams to be rewarded.
I love it. Well, you're the commissioner. I'm not going to go against you here. So 4 is perfectly acceptable.
Smoke Show!